Good morning, Jay Silver with Helicon, your foundation repair and soil stabilization expert here in Florida. Today, it's a beautiful day, Thursday, October 2nd, and we're out here in Tampa, Florida on a pre-construction helical pier project for Clarios, who, if you look behind me, they've got some big manufacturing stacks, huge facility. They manufacture car batteries. So dealing with leads, acids, they're looking to expand their plant. Some of these stacks are on the opposite side. This one's fairly newer, are in the 70s and they're becoming obsolete. So if you look beyond me, they're going to be putting a massive stack back here, and we're doing 158 of these helical piers, pre-construction down to about 15 feet, and then they're going to pour a concrete slab on top of that, and they do not want that to settle. You can imagine the cost of this stuff is just astronomical. You know, the margin for error of it settling could be very, very costly. Same as if you're building a house, or if you're building an apartment complex, retail space, warehouse, any sort of concrete slab. Could be your pool. Some people spend $500,000, $1 million on a pool patio area, and they don't want that pool to pop from hydrostatic pressure or that pool deck to settle. Well, if you want it to rest on solid ground, like Clarios is doing here, you're going to want helical piles or piers, which is a deep foundation system that's going to support that foundation. 15,000 pounds is the ultimate capacity here. The working allowable is 7,500 pounds. So they double that just for a safety factor. And the way helical piles work, if you don't know, these helixes, these are a 10-inch and a 12-inch starter, and they're torqued into the ground. And that foot-pounds of torque is what correlates to the capacity that it's going to support. You want to get them down, the starter piece, at least down below 10 feet, roughly about 15 feet on average. And get this, we're achieving about 6,500, almost 7,000 foot-pounds of torque. And what that correlates is just gravy as the load capacity. It's about 30,000 allowable working. It's 60,000 ultimate capacity. So we only need ultimate capacity of 15. So we've got way more capacity than needed. Actually, what we're installing is a triple helix. So the second section is a 14-inch blade. But here's another pad behind me. So as we kind of mosey on over here to see the guys, on some of the points, you've got some really dense hard clay. And we're having to put some carbide tips on the starter on a couple of them. You can see over here. And that's just to get through this hard material. But clays, you know, right now this stuff is really dry and it shrinks. Well, when it rains and we get some wet weather, this stuff expands. And that's another reason to have a helical pile or pier system, is to go down, extend your load bearing capacity beyond these clay problem soils. We got Felix torquing in a piece here. You can kind of see his torque meter right here, where that's giving you the foot-pounds of torque, which correlates to the load bearing capacity. There's an IntelliTorque on the head that's reading that onto his iPhone there. So it's very precise and scientific driven, to where when you're doing with other, you've probably seen other deep foundation piles for homes that they use timber, which is a wood pile that they pound down into the ground. Well, you don't have that exact precise torque reading, and after the pile has been installed in, you could have possible settlement. Also wood, you can have rot. There's more maintenance, where to me and most engineers, there may be a slight higher cost, but galvanized steel is definitely the more superior and long-lasting method. They're hooking up the third flight, and they're in 5-foot sections, and he's going to advance that down into the ground, and then finish off with the last flight, which will have no helixes on there. And once we get that down to depth and bearing capacity, this new foundation is going to rest on just rock solid ground, and there's no concern for it settling, giving in this case, a commercial client, peace of mind that their expensive manufacturing equipment they're installing, which is in the millions of dollars, is not going to settle. Whether it's a custom home, retail space, commercial space, pool area, and you want that peace of mind that it's going to stand the test of time, consider Helical pre-construction piers for your next project, and reach out to Helicon. Subscribe along with us so you can continue to find innovative ways to protect your investment.